One of my joys of being your pastor is the opportunity to hear your stories, to see how God is working in your life, and to see how you tell me that story. I've had great opportunities to hang out with Sammy and to hear his story. And there's one aspect of his story I focused on. And I thought that would connect to a sermon that I'm preparing and thinking about. So I went to Sammy and asked if he'd be willing to share his testimony, and then I would connect it to my sermon. And so he agreed. And so this past week, he'd been thinking about it for a while. And this past week, we've been discussing it together. He'd even coming here to practice it, like I would typically do as well. And then as he continued to tell his story, it got closer to the length of a sermon than a simple testimony. So I had two options. I could tell him to tell half of his story, which would make no sense, or to keep you here till 1 o'clock so you could hear my sermon as well. But instead, as I see some of y'all shake your head, you don't want to do that. Then I invited him to come share his testimony with us at this time. And then next week, you'll see the sermon that I wanted to connect to his story, to see how God is working in his life, and how we can partner with him as we continue to see how God is working in our lives together. So Sammy, we look forward to hearing from you today.
Good morning to everyone. Good morning. I first want to say a very sincere welcome to everyone here this morning. Welcome. Our guests, our members, friends, you are truly welcome here at Chadbourn Baptist Church. Now, what am I doing up here this morning? One thing I'm going to talk about is my journey here. How did I end up at Chadbourn Baptist Church? And I want to share with you some of my things since I've been coming here. Almost perfectly 3 years I've been coming here, me and my wife Cheryl, and becoming a member in February of 2012. Since I've been coming, I wanted to help in some way. I wanted to give back to God, to be a servant. How could I do this? Now, I can tell you folks, if you're wondering how you might can give back to the church, if you ask somebody, how can I help around this place, they will put you to work. I can tell you that. But it has been an honor. You know who you are out there. It has been an honor to help take up the offering. How wonderful it is to do just a small, tiny piece of work for God. Just something so little. I've seen people for years walking up the aisle. How wonderful it was to do that. And then I got put on the welcoming committee. How wonderful it's been to be one in the back, me and Cheryl, every 3 months. Welcome. It's good to see you today. Welcome. To give some of that joy that I feel when I come into this church. To be asked to become a Sunday school teacher. I hope that the folks that have been in my class have learned just a tiny piece of what I've learned having to teach. One other thing, though, since I've been coming here, I've been wondering. I want to help, and I want to somehow get more people coming to the church. Now, let me say this: I love this church. I love the facility. What a wonderful facility we have. I love the people that come to this church. I love our pastor and his family. Most importantly, I love that the presence of God is in this church. What a wonderful thing it is that He's here. So, not that I want to help get more people here for numbers, but because I believe truly that we can help people. We're so good here that we can help people in their lives that are struggling to find God or connect to God. Well, in these 3 years, I've wondered, how do you do that? Just me brainstorming. These are my inner thoughts now, okay? Well, how do we do that? Maybe we should put an ad in the paper, a better ad. Is that the question? Is that the answer? I mean, I've thought about all kinds of things. Maybe we need banners on the side of the church that say, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know? On the marquee, do we need a really cool slogan? Maybe that's the answer, you know. But as I thought about these things over the last 3 years, the question was how, in my mind, was how do we get people to come? But the question began to change in my mind to why aren't people coming to church? Why aren't they coming? It's such a wonderful place. Any church. Why aren't they going in general? Well, I don't know. Bunches of reasons, I guess. Thousands of reasons. Millions of reasons. They give you all kinds of reasons why they're not. Now, I truly believe that God will reveal things to you at different times. That's why it's called revelation. It seems so simple when it happens, right? But during your Christian journey, He'll reveal things to you. In other words, and I'm wondering, well, why aren't people coming? And it just, bam! Well, why wasn't I coming? Not too long ago, in recent past, there was a 2-year period where I wasn't going to church anywhere. So, how did that happen? Well, I was going to another church that I started attending somewhere in the early 2003. And I attended this church regularly, religiously, until somewhere early 2009. Well, what happened? Why did I quit going? Well, I want to say this. I don't want anybody to get hung up on the name of the church, what it was, or who it is, or whatever. It's a wonderful place. I want to be clear. A wonderful place. The Spirit of God was there as well. Great, wonderful people there as well. It was truly a blessing along my Christian journey. Learned a lot there. It was a wonderful place. Well, why did I quit going? I went through a really, really hard time in my life. A really difficult time. I went through a divorce. So somewhere around early 2009, I quit going. Well, why? To be honest, and these are my inner thoughts now, I was afraid to walk in there. I was afraid that if I walked in there, in my mind, I'm visualizing walking up the back steps, and I'm thinking that when I walk in, I'm going to see everybody look over their shoulder and say, well, what in the world is he doing here? Well, what all he's done? What is he doing here? Because it seems like amazing that gossip can spread faster than the speed of light, right? Good things, not so much. That's something happened. Oh, we all hear it. I mean, do we not? That church 5 years ago, something happened. You know, whatever. So, well, I ain't going to be a part of that. I don't have to go there. I'm not going up in that place. So, I want to talk about this 2-year period where I didn't go. I also want to make it clear, thank God He didn't quit blessing during this time. Because probably the most wonderful thing happened to me during this period of time. I met my wife, Cheryl. And it has truly been the most wonderful thing in my life to experience marriage the way it should be. Being married to your best friend. To share and grow and just the way it's supposed to be. That's God there. When that works out, everything just goes just like it's supposed to. Truly a blessing it is. Well, so early on in this 2-year period, I'm not going to church anywhere. But God hasn't turned me loose. And I also believe this now. If God ever gets His arms around you, truly, He gets a hold of you, right? He won't let you go. I was trying to get away. Wouldn't quite let me go. I would still think about it from time to time, knowing that I needed more connection with Him. I mean, I would try. He just won't turn you loose. So my mind would turn to Him from time to time, and thinking, I should get back in church. So I don't know exactly. Me and Cheryl was riding along early on in this time period, and past the church or something. I said, I might not have mentioned it before, but actually, I used to go to church every Sunday. And it's crossed my mind that I should probably get back to church, get involved. And my wife says, absolutely, whenever you're ready to go, we'll go. I was like, well, no help there, staying, So, as this goes on, I'm afraid I don't want to go back I'm afraid to go back into the church. I'm afraid to go in there. I'm afraid that I wouldn't be welcome. They wouldn't want me no more. So, My mind is constantly wandering. And somewhere around that year mark, a year away, somewhere around that mark, I devised a strategy. I'm afraid to just bust stuff in there one Sunday. So, of course, that was originally what I was thinking. But then I figured out how to bump into one of the deacons of the church that I was going to. So I remember it was a beautiful sunny day, and I bumped into him and had a conversation. Hey, how you doing? Doing good. It's been a while. Yeah, that's blah, 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 blah. Good, good, good. You know, everything's good. And then I ease it in there. You know, I was thinking about coming back to church. And I remember distinctly him going, well, there's a lot of good churches out there. There's a lot of good churches out there. So, remember it's a beautiful day. Sound like this. And well, man, it's been good to see you. We exchange goodbyes. And, you know, I'm easing on my way. Obviously not saying anything, but in my mind, remember guys, these are my inner monologue that I'm sharing with you. I'm not, well, if I'm not wanted there, I ain't got to go there. I think I'm going back in there. I'll probably reach out one little bit and boom, I'm not well. I don't have to go back there. They don't want me, that's fine. I ain't got to go back there. So, God's still tugging along on my old heart, you know. So then I get a new strategy. You know what? I can have a relationship with God and still learn and not go to church anywhere. I can do that. Other people say it all the time, do they not? So I went and get me a new Bible. And during this journey, you know, I would start reading some of the stories. Wonderful stories in the Bible, is not hope, about Jesus, about Paul, King David, Abraham, Noah. Thank God for Noah, right? We really been studying this year. Wow, thank God for Noah. And things start to change a little bit in my mind of I'm not going because I'm not welcome, to where I start reading about these wonderful men in the Bible, and then I start thinking I don't deserve to go to church anymore. I don't deserve to be close to God anymore. I've done too much wrong. They figured it out. That's why that man said what he said. Let me mention something now. I don't think after, this happened 4 years ago, right? One thing I've realized after 4 years of reflection on that incident with that man, he hadn't thought 1 second about it. The day I turned around and walked away, he ain't thought about it, never before. It ain't crossed his mind. He would remember it if I brought it up. For him, it was a casual conversation, a setup by me to find out, because I was trying to figure out where I was at, right? Well, and he's a wonderful man too, okay? Wonderful man. But it definitely had an effect on me. A few little words he said. Well, but anyway, so I'm starting to think, well, I don't deserve to go, right? I've done too much wrong. And someone had told me, and people say this, well, sometimes what you ought to do is, when you're having a bad day and when you come home, you just boom, open the Bible, see where it's at, see what it comes to. A lot of times it'll speak right to you. Just pray that, please, Lord, have the answer. And boom, a lot of times it's right there. Now, God never turned me loose, guys. He never did. Thank God for that. He never turned me loose. But I tell you, when you start getting out from under, away from, when you're trying to get out of His arms, something that will happen is that every facet of your life will start getting worse. It will start deteriorating. Relationships with your family, your friends, financial problems. Just, it seems like you start getting hit by every angle. Thank God my wife came at that time, because she got me through that time. I might have derailed forever and not ever come back. So, I started opening that Bible from time to time. And one particular day, I come home, and I've just had a bad day, and I'm thinking, I don't deserve God's love anymore. I've just messed up too much. And I open this Bible right here. And you'll see what a miracle this is. And we open it right up to Titus. Now, if you flip too quick, you're going to go right by Titus now. It's sandwiched right in between 2 Timothy and Philemon. It's like a page in the other Bibles, a page and a half in mine. And I open it up, and I specifically, just my eyes fall on chapter 3, beginning at verse 3. And this is the Apostle Paul here talking now. And it says, "For we ourselves were also once foolish, disobedient, deceived, serving various lusts and pleasures, living in malice and envy, hateful and hating one another. But when the kindness and the love of God our Savior toward man appeared, not by works of righteousness which we have done, but according to His mercy He saved us, through the washing and regeneration and renewing of the Holy Spirit." And it just, bang, hit me. Wait a minute. Paul's included himself. I love Paul. He's talking about he's messed up so bad, and then Revelation. Reveal you things. Wait a minute. Paul was Saul, was he not? Made some mistakes there. Abraham made some mistakes, did he not? Moses. What about King David? God loved King David. My goodness, He loved King David. But some of David's favorites passages as well. King David messed up a lot. So wait a minute, if these guys, all these same names that I thought, they've messed up as well. Maybe that's why this is in there. Maybe that's why Titus 3:3-5 is in there to remind us, hey, these great guys, I've chosen these guys because they've messed up too. Now, I want to talk about my journey. As I've mentioned before, time to time we're riding in a car, past the church and come up, we really need to get back to church. The whole time now, 2 years, we need to get back there. So start really honing in. We need to go. Every time my wife, and there's obviously got derailed going back to where I was going. I got that just out of the picture. So I'm thinking to myself, I don't know where to go. Maybe I need to go away somewhere and sneak in, where they don't know me, where they don't know what I've done. And my wife said, well, let's go to Chadbourn. I grew up there. I'm like, Chadbourn? Michael. Chadbourn. Of course I retort, well, maybe we both need a fresh start. We both need to go somewhere else, somewhere brand new. So it starts coming up more and more often as the weeks go on. We need to get back. I'm waiting on you. I'm telling you. I've been telling you. Have I not? I've been telling you. Yes, I'll go. You just tell me when, where we go. But I want to go visit my church first. I want to go back there. I'm telling you, the people there are wonderful. Guys, has your wife ever won out on something? Have they ever got the final say before? So fine, it's decided. We're coming. We're going to try here first. We're going to visit. And I remember distinctly getting up that morning, the apprehension, believe it. I'm not saying this now. This is all my innermost thoughts again. I'm feeling this feeling of dread start to come on me. We're getting ready to go. We're getting in the car. It's just getting worse and worse. This feeling of dread. Anxiety. Anybody ever had anxiety? It's terrible. Especially, and it builds, right? It gets worse and worse. Anxiety. Why? Because I'm thinking the same thing I thought 2 years before. That when I walk in there, that somebody or everybody is going to be like, what is he doing at my church? And I'm going to see the heads, whispering to each other. Let me fill you in. Make sure you get the cold shoulder out, okay? That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And feeling of dread, we get out in the car and she comes and holds my hand. really, you know, she's holding my hand. I need my hand held. Full-grown man, I need my hand held to get up here. And I remember thinking, you know, we come around and now I had never been before, so we're getting ready to walk up the steps. It seems like the steps are so hard. Come to find out, there's not that many. You know, it's not that bad, really. But it was tough. But this feeling of dread and everything, you know, I made it up the steps, starting to get to the vestibule, you know. Doors open. It was a beautiful day, so they were open. And what happens? Here comes a little blonde lady running right at me. Hey, good morning. My name's Krista. It is sure nice for you to be here this morning. Thank you for coming. You can come in and sit anywhere you like. Anywhere at all. Gave us our little pamphlet and we come in, and I remember making it through, and we made it. And I said, we've made it to our seats. We sat down. And about half the apprehension just whoosh, went away. Just instantly. Just gone. So, bear in mind, we've never been, or I haven't, I've never been here before. I don't know how things go, you know. So, anyway, some of us are very familiar every morning, and we come in and, you know, people get up and sing, you know, I'm just following along, seeing what's going on, and next thing you know, what happens, Miss Lisa comes up here and says a few words, gives the announcement, and said, what? And may the peace of the Lord be with you, and also with you. Let's share the peace. So I look around, people are standing up. What happens next? Hands thrust at me like this right here. Hey, we're so glad to see you this morning. Welcome. Look at me in my eyes. They're not like giving me the old limp handshake. They're like, look at me in the eyes. You're welcome. And it's just like, seems like a crowd coming up and saying, welcome. We're so glad that you're here. And I look around, there's my wife. Swamped. People all over. Thank God. It's so good to see you. We haven't seen you in so long. Thank God you're back. It's so wonderful to see you. And she's just, same thing. They're all over. And then what do I see? It seems like there's a crowd. It seems like the most popular man in town at that moment. You know, it's just like, wow. This is not what I expected. You know what I mean? And I see a little blonde woman coming through the crowd and saying, hey, I just wanted to say again, my name's Krista. Thank you for coming. I just wanted to make sure you knew that you are welcome here today and that you are just going to love this church. It's just so awesome. The people here are just wonderful. They just welcomed me right in. It was just the best place in the world now. Thank you very much. I don't know if I said that fast enough. I don't know if I said it fast enough. Thank you, Krista. I know you're not here, but I love you. Thank you so much. Someone else that has not thought of a thing about what they said that day to me after it happened. She ain't talking about somebody, probably. Why? If we know Krista, she was being herself, right? That was Krista being Krista. Thank the Lord she's here. Everything was gone. All the apprehension. Everything was gone. We're good to go. Thumbs up. I couldn't believe it. It's just been wonderful. It's just been a blessing. Now, looking back, why aren't people in church? Why wasn't I in church? How silly was it that I let what one man said to me that he never thought about again affect me so bad, almost derail me off my path with God? How silly was it to think that I would not be welcomed here? It makes me wonder if there's some folks that aren't here today because of something as silly as they think that they wouldn't be welcomed at this church. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing this morning. At this time, I invite you to stand as we sing our hymn of commitment, as we discover how Christ is always looking us in the eyes, and how we in the church can be a part of that work as well. Let us stand and sing.
In 372, Living for Jesus.
live for Jesus. May you've been welcomed today, that you are welcome to go into this world and to live for Jesus in the days to come. Amen.